Here's a great exercise to improve your jazz improvisation, and you don't even need your instrument. Hi, my name is Jeff Lewis, and in today's video, we're going to go over a way to improve your jazz improvisation by writing out your own jazz solo. So in the following tutorial, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write out a solo based on the chord changes to Miles Davis's Freddie the Freeloader. If you want a backing track of your own, I've posted that on my YouTube channel as well, so you can play along after you've written out your own solo. You can also go to my website at jefflewistrumpet.com, and then you can download the free PDF, print it up, and then start writing out your own solo. At the very end of this video, I will go ahead and play, and I've already recorded those, I'll play the trumpet solo that I wrote out for you here in the tutorial. So here are the chords to the tune, and then I posted them again over here. So here are the chords to Freddie the Freeloader. And what I'm going to suggest is learn, if you're new to this, playing just the chords in your solo. So you can do things like outline the 1, 3, 5, 7, right? So the 1 is the root, the third note, the fifth note, and the seventh note. If you want a little bit more what I'm talking about, here are the scales. So here's a C7 or a C dominant scale. It's just a major scale with a lowered seventh tone. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the chords are built on the 1, the 3, the 5, and the 7. All right, so most of you are probably familiar with that. So let's get started writing a solo here. So the first 4 chords are all C7. So what I'm going to do is come down here, and I use Finale. I've got, I don't know, Finale 12, kind of an older version here. And I'm going to MIDI input my notes. All right, so I'm going to start with the 8th note rest, and then we'll start on a high E, because the chord is extended. It's not just like, for example, up here, you've got C, E, G, B flat. Well, there's a C here, and an E here, and a G, and a B flat up top. So I can just continue up using the chord, so I'm not stuck to this one octave. So let's do this. Then we'll tie it to a quarter note. And then we'll do some running 8th notes. It's not going to be the hippest thing in the world, but if you're not that familiar with playing chord changes, it gives you kind of a fun exercise to do in order to start to get more familiar with the chord changes in improvisation. All right, so I got to update this layout here. And then let's continue with the 8th notes. Tied to a half note. Get rid of that. I want a half note. I'm going to move on to the next bar. So now we have an F7, and the notes in the F7 chord are F, A, C, and E flat, because they're coming from the F dominant chord, F, G, A, B flat, like a F major scale, C, D, E. This is the lowered 7th here. That's what the dominant 7th means. And also, you could think of it as a Mixolydian scale. It's the 5th mode of a B flat major scale. And a B flat major scale has 2 flats in it. If you're not familiar with major scale modes, I did a YouTube video on that. You can check that out. I'll put a link in the description below. All right, let's keep going. So now we're on F7. And let's see, where did we end off? One thing I like to do is, so I ended up on this E here. So I think about, okay, what's the next closest chord tone to the E in the F7? Well, even though it's F, A, C, E flat up here, I can bring that E flat and put it down here. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to start on an E flat, so it doesn't, so I'm not jumping around as much. So let's just do something simple like a half note, and then just go up in 8th notes. and then tie it to a half note. And now we're back at the C7. Right, and like I said, it's not going to be the hippest thing in the world, but it'll sound like jazz, and it'll sound like you're making the changes, albeit at a really simple level. But if you're just getting started, it's, in my opinion, is better than just playing a C blues scale, which is the first thing you learn to do usually, and then it's like trying to paint a picture with just one color. All right, so now we're back at C7, and our last note was a C, and so we can start on a C, although starting on a root is also not the hippest thing to do, but let's do it anyway. So we'll go eighth notes, and then we'll go seems like always tying to a half note. All right, well, it's just an exercise here. I'm going to move on to the G7. G7 chord. All right, let's get back here. The G7 chord is right up here. It's G, B, D, F. And if we take a look at the scale over here, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, you may recognize here that is the same notes as the C major scale. So remember, dominant chords, their parent key is coming from the major scale of 5 notes, a fifth below or a fourth above. So 5 notes below G is C. 4 notes above G is C. The C major scale has no flats and no sharps. And you get the C major scale starting on G. And that's why I like using modes, because I don't have to go flat this, flat that, etc., etc. All right, so let's go back. We're on the G7. And we stopped on this E. So let's go to an F and just play maybe something easy like half note and then quarter note and 2 eighth notes. We'll tie it to a quarter. And then what I like to do, oh wait, I messed that up. Of course, we are in the F chord. All right, so let's redo that. Boo D. Let's go C. Right. We'll take this slur off. Okay. And now we're at that B flat chord. So looking at the B flat chord, we have B flat, D, F, A flat, the 1, 3, 5, 7. So let's see, where did we leave off? We left off on an F, bo, 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 be da, ba, dee, da, bo, bo, be da. Right, and then we're going to go, how about this? We'll go F, quarter notes, and then, that'll sound goofy. Let's do that. Okay. All right, so I'm going to take a quick break here, and we're going to, it didn't put the first ending and the second ending in, so I need to do that real quick. Okay, as you can see, I put the first ending and the second ending here, so it's a little bit clear, more clear, the 12-bar blues. Okay, so then we're going to maybe play it again the second time, but have a little bit different second ending. So let's go over here to the second ending. And let's see, I left off on bid or did. So the last note I left off on was on the F here, the root. So the next closest chord tone, let's take a look up here. So if I'm going from, let's see, here it is. So I left off on the root, on the F right here. Then I'm going to go down to the E for voice leading, the next closest chord tone. So, and then we'll do something easy like half note. And then tied to a half note. Okay, so as you can see, um, it's super simple. Like I said, it's not the hippest thing, but at least you are playing the chord changes. And if there's something funky when you play it and you hear it and you listen back, you can go, okay, that sounds weird somewhere, and then you can look and see if your theory is correct. And then, this is kind of like step one out of 14,000 steps. Right? It's just going to get hipper and hipper. You can start adding color. You can start adding passing tones and enclosures. And you can start adding some 2-5-1s. You can start to change the harmony a little bit. You can play inside, outside. You can play pentatonics, hexatonics, and make of it whatever you want. It's pretty unlimited as far as what you can do. But this is a good way, I think, to start getting used to playing chords, and it's an easier, quote unquote, easier tune to play because it is a 12-bar blues. All right, so the second step, I would do this. We're going to go over here, and let's play some scale tones. And what I like to do is, once again, hear the chords. I like to put chord tones on downbeats because that will establish the key much better than if you were to play the chord tones on upbeats. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this on my horn, and I'll have an example of both of these written solo examples at the end of the video. All right, so let's look over here. So C7 is the first scale over here, and we're going to put that in the first bar here. All right, well, let's start on the third because it's always a little bit cooler to start on third than on the root. And then we'll just do some running eighth notes. So how about... We'll jump up to some chord tones. Tie seems to be my theme today, tied to a half note. And then we'll just keep kind of keep going here. How about... All right, so if you take a look at this first four lines, I'm just using scale tones. I'm playing completely diatonic or within the key of C7, so no surprises here and no color. But on the downbeats, here's a downbeat. It's an E, that's a chord tone. Downbeat, G, chord tone, chord tone, chord tone, chord tone, chord tone, downbeat, chord tone. Chord ninth is a cool note, but not a chord tone, and that's okay. Sometimes a C9 is totally acceptable. Chord tone, chord tone, chord tone, chord tone. All right, let's go over to the F and maybe put a, let's jump up an octave here. Let's put a dotted half note. And then maybe some, how about the... tied to a half note, right? And then we're back at C, rest. Da, 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 da. And I'll sing it to myself, just kind of see if it's something I might like. I'm out of key, but I basically know what's happening here. Hopefully. How about... And then we're on the G chord. And see, I'm coming down from a C. So what's the next closest scale or chord tone is a B. So if I... And then the next closest chord tone is an E flat. So let's do this. And then I ended on an A. So let's go to, in the B flat dominant chord, let's go to A flat, which is the 7th of the chord. And how about if we go, we'll do some sequencing. Sequencing is basically playing the same lick, but in a different key. So we'll go. And it's going to look like this. Update layout. All right, now we just need to take care of this second ending here of the last C chord. And once again, we're coming out of C, A. So maybe I'll go, let's go like this. We'll go to the B flat and we'll just play. And we're done. All right, so if you really take a look at it, you'll see that I've played, it looks like mostly all chord tones on downbeats. Really simple, but here I am floating through some different keys. Like there is no E flat in the C7 chord. There is no B natural in C7. There's no B natural, right? So you need to change the notes and the note choices accordingly if you want to sound like you're actually playing the chord changes. All right, so now you can find this on my website, jefflewistrumpet.com. You just go to Jazz Book, scroll down, you'll find it there with a PDF here, every little solo that I did, and you can create your own. Just print up the sheet and then use that, and you can do your own solos, play along. I'll have a backing track as well that you can play along with. Let's see, it'll probably be Under Freddie the Freeloader, B-flat blues. I'll also post this little melody, and you can do that and then start blowing your own solos. So yeah, that should be kind of fun. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment in the comment section below. And once again, stay tuned after this video and I will go ahead and play these. All right, hope you enjoyed that.